let's rap then. No cap, I'm captain. Bands elastic, the racks are wrapped in. See-through plastic, the camera's flashing. We live that life. 4-piece suit, she say I look so dashing. And I came to die on my lap where I placed a napkin. This ain't just rapping, it's a lifestyle you can't match with. Let's rap, get you tapped in.
Kick back on them in the whip that's foreign. Drip drop on them with a chick that's gorgeous.
Right, episode 4, let's rap. Right now we got Riffic, we got Aon. We want to thank them for being here right now. And if you guys actually listen to the intro to this, these are the gentlemen that actually blessed me with the hook at the very beginning. So, you know, nothing but thanks, dope vibes, all of that. With that being said, let's jump right into it, man. So, how did you guys meet?
So, I mean, I'm a barber, apart from the dream chase, you know, that's what funds the dream. So I'm a barber, and I was just doing my regular grind, my regular daily thing, and in walks this guy. And, you know, when dudes walk in the shop, you always kind of know whether they're serious or whether they're, you know, just walking in the shop to get a haircut and leave. But anyways, he sat in the chair, and I don't know, the rest is history.
Yeah, just, we didn't even talk about music for like a year, really. I was getting trims.
Facts.
I don't know.
Facts.
One time before I got a trim, he was like, yo, listen to do something real quick, go to the store. So I just rode with him, and then it was actually in COVID. It was in COVID still. And then, yeah, I played him my music, he played me his music, and then that was it, man. Like, the next night we just linked and just made music after that.
That's sick, man.
That's vital. That's vital information. It wasn't the rest is history. He's right. It was about a year in before we even realized each other did music.
So when did you guys start rapping? Either. Well, I mean, it's different for each of you, but when did you start?
Start rapping. Sounds like maybe 13, 12, 13 still. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that's probably around the same time for me. I would say around maybe like 12, 13, like taking it seriously, writing bars in a book and stuff like that, you know.
Who did you guys look up to? Like, give me your influences.
Tupac.
At that time. Well, Tupac. Yeah.
Jay-Z for me at that time. Yeah, it was Jay-Z. Lil Wayne, you know, he wasn't the Wayne he became, but I still liked him at that time. And then, you know, at that time, to be honest with you, music was more like groups and conglomerates. So like, you know, you had, you know, Cash Money, and then you had like Master P and all these different cliques and squads. So it was hard to like, you know, Dipset. I was heavy on Dipset. You know, it was hard to pinpoint singulars when like you're like, yo, I like Dipset or I like G Unit or whatever it is, right? So, but everyone always has their favorites. Even as we talk Dipset, at that time, Jewels was a heavy influence for me.
Yeah, he was big. He was big.
You know, Jewels, and then, you know, fast forward maybe 10 years, Jewels and Wayne, that's when they really become who they are. And then that's when I started, you know, when you're a little kid, you're just writing bars, you don't know what you're writing per se, you want to rhyme, you A-B, you got simple rhyme schemes and stuff. But once you understand that you're trying to say something and you learn different ways to say it, once I figured out how I wanted to sound, Jewels and Wayne were still right there. They were still like, that's probably when they were even hitting harder.
Right. Exactly.
So they've always been a part of my my journey and my evolution. But then later on, I know the question is who were your influences, but my influences later on became like more abstract, like Andre 3000, Kanye West.
That's a good one.
And these are guys you hear in my music. So
Kanye, definitely. Yeah, coming from the UK, who did you listen to? I mean, obviously your influences might have been completely different.
Nah, we listen to a lot of, you know, American music, hip hop, whatever. So when I was like coming up, I was listening to like Skepta though. Skepta, Gigs, Nines, UK rap, but more time I was listening to American rap, like just like J. Cole, Big Sean, I was into that. Who else?
And just to be clear too, our influences are like 10 years apart, you know what I'm saying? Because there's 10 years that separate us. So it's like, it's not to say J. Cole and Big Sean, those guys are heavy on my radar too. But they came later on when I'm looking at them as peers almost. They come as like, not influences, but it's like, I see these are the dudes that are doing what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's later on in my journey. Meanwhile, for him, you know,
that was when I was a youth.
yeah. So just to point that out for anybody listening, like understand that, you know, these are all people that we both mess with, but we get introduced to them at different points in our journeys. And those, like, you know, like I said, 10 years between us, a lot happens in music in 10 years, you know, in rap and hip hop. A lot happened. A lot of transitions, a lot of, you know what I mean? So. Absolutely.
And then, okay, so like diving into your styles now. How did you guys formulate your styles and what are your styles? After that, after like watching and seeing, like, okay, now I'm going to determine how I'm going to spit and this is my style. You know what I mean?
Right.
For me, I think like, obviously I got the UK accent, but it's still heavily like hip hop. I'm not grinding or nothing like that. A little bit of drill. But mainly it's just hip hop, man. It's like soulful beats, more time. Just punchlines, isn't it?
Yeah. For me, it's you know, I like to have fun. I like to play with it. You know, for me, I like to articulate. It's a lot of alliterations, onomatopoeias. I like to paint scenes. You know what I'm saying? You could call it telling stories, but I'm vivid. You know, I very much like to use my vocabulary. I like to use my words. I like to do what I call the evolution of words. You know, I love to make things sound melodically the same, but when you're really locked in and you're listening, I'm saying line by line different things. But if you were to just close your ears off and just be mundane to it, it sounds like I'm just repeating this. You know what I'm saying? So I like to just have fun with it and play with it. But for me, whereas he's more punchlines, I'm more... I like to paint the picture, you know what I'm saying? I like to be vivid and give you a whole sentence, whereas he could say my whole sentence in like 2 words, you know what I'm saying? But I like to use that whole sentence to talk my shit.
And just in regards to lyrics, what would you say you guys' lyrical content is about? Like, so the last interview we just did, Peak, shout out to Peak, he was talking about the fact that when he raps, he's rapping about the upcoming and what he's looking for, but he's like with the swag and with his own kind of like vision in terms of where he wants to be. So like just get an idea of the question. What do you guys rap about in terms of what you're trying to attain, or you know?
We always rap about real life stuff.
Okay.
We never make up stuff. It's always facts, always spit. Also, we just rap about what we want as well, like
exactly. Foresight. We put a lot of foresight into our music.
Yeah.
But that foresight also comes from how we're doing things right now and the things we're experiencing right now. And you just kind of know what's inevitable. You know what you want. You know what you're gunning for. So we like to manifest all of that. And so far, it's like to say everything we've talked about has either manifested or is currently manifesting. You know, and we try to stray away from the bitches and the, you know, money and the racks and the bling and the bling. But the reality is there's a level of that we are trying to attain.
Right.
So we'd be lying if we said we weren't going to talk about that. But that's not the basis of our music. You know what I'm saying? We would rather relate that to how we're actually living and paint that picture for you of what we will be or what's happening, like what's in the process of happening right now.
Absolutely. And then just in terms of complimenting each other, you know, obviously you guys had a tape, shout out, you know, in regards to like how you guys compliment each other in the booth and then going on, you know, when you're breaking down how you're going to rap, who's going to go first, who's going to go second, talk to that process with you guys.
That's organic.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's organic if we're talking about who goes first or second or whatever, but go ahead.
Yeah, we usually just get a beat, whatever. Sometimes so we work at Studio 134, which is basically...
Shout
out 134.
134 is basically our little collective. It's me and Riffic, you know. It's our little label or whatever you want to call it. It's just what we rep. So we usually at 134. Usually, like, we'll just play a beat and we'll just... More time I do the hook still.
Like, he's the hook man.
That's just
for now, you know, he's the hook man for now until I catch up. But
but he does his thing too, so
yeah,
it's
I'm
just
getting there.
It's just about it is what it is like.
And to answer your question, that speaks to the point where it's like iron sharpens iron. You know, my weaknesses are his strengths, and vice versa. If there are any weaknesses, you know, it's just more about making each other sharper in those areas, you know, because he is the hook guy, and I feel like I could be better on hooks, and that's where like I appreciate what he brings to the table, because not only is he making the song sound dope, but he's also, when my time comes to do the hook, you know, he's laying that out for me, and he's just showing me like, you know, how to really get through it. So it's gonna get to a point where it's like, and you know, there's times now where I'll bring a hook to the table, I'll bring a whole song to the table, and he'll have to just punch a verse in, and it's vice versa. But more often than not, he's on the hook, and you'll hear that in the project, the Dear Summer playlist. Big up the Dear Summer playlist.
Dear Summer, we'll check that.
That dropped January 28th, and you know, there's a lot of like lot of stuff that happens behind closed doors and in Studio 134. But long story short, that was supposed to drop months before it actually dropped. So we had to make tweaks and adjustments to that and just put it out and just get the ball rolling. So as much as that was our first drop, you know, we were very much looking forward to what's coming. We got a lot coming up. I guess we'll talk about that. But in terms of how we complement each other, I feel we're very similar in terms of we have this melodic type of approach to it.
And we like the same beats.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I like you guys beats.
The beat selection is crucial, and we seem to have a very similar ear. And the more we grow together, the more we're just refining it together. So that's pretty dope in itself. So
in touching on that, what would you say for you guys constitutes making a good song? What is a good song to you guys when you hear it? Like, and I'm only saying that again because we've done a couple of interviews now, and every artist says they go back into the biggest critic and they go, nah, I don't really like that, or that bar was not good, or that beat didn't make sense to what we just said. What makes a good song for you guys? And you guys are doing it together, so like, how does that work?
It's just a feeling more than anything. Like, you just know, like, when it's made, usually says another one.
Another one. That's like my line. Shout out Khaled. But it's just real talk. When a song's done, and that's part of it too, knowing when to call it, knowing when to be like, all right, it's good. Because you could be tweaking a song all night long, all 3-4 sessions in, you're working on the same song. And we try to stray away from that. Because if we're not like locked into it and love it and our energy is into it, the results won't be the same. You know what I'm saying? If we got to go back and work on a song days later, on some like unsatisfied, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of songs we've done that with and will never see the light of day. You know, our catalog is so big. You know, a lot of songs aren't going to see the light of day, but it sucks when that's the reason why. When you don't know how or when to finish it, you know what I'm saying? And that happens.
So in terms of production, I don't know what you guys have done in terms of where you get your beats, but talk to like, what do you guys look for in a producer or production from somebody that wants to, they were like, yo, to reach out and say, yo, take this beat and what do you think? Like, what do you guys look for? You know?
It's a good question.
Just a professional sounding song, really. Like, it's always whack when someone hits you up, like, fuck with your music and send you a beat.
They'll send you a whole folder.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and, you know, there might be one that you're like, all right, we could try. But,
I don't know, it's all about quality, man. Sometimes people's beats sound like it's like a tin can, you know what I'm saying, for the drums and like
the Fruity Loops type of, like, I get what you're saying.
But yo, we also have to be careful though too, because we go on YouTube, I want to say for at least, you know, 50-60% of our mixtape stuff that we don't need to really go through all the red tape with. But we'll go on YouTube, right? And because like we said, we have a similar ear, we'll go through 4, 5, 6 beats and realize, holy shoot, these are all the same guy. And we don't know that when we're going through them, but because the sound, when we hear it, we like it, we know it, we want it. When we look back at it, we're like, oh shoot, 5 of those 6 beats were from friggin', what was that one producer's name? Let's shout him out real quick. The one that had the same, Dilly on the beats. Big up Dilly. We got a solid 4 or 5 records from Dilly, right? But it wasn't until we were on the 4th or 5th record, we're like, oh damn, these all have the same bass line. And that's because that's his style. And obviously, you know, you can tell that he works around that bass line and he does his thing. 100% he does his thing. But it's like, that's when we realize, okay, let's ease off Dilly for a second and let's go check, you know, some other guys. We have this new guy we're working, or that we get beats from. His name is Sapuda. Shout out Sapuda. And, he is like, what he seems to be good at is sampling and looping the best part of the sample, right? Because a lot of his beats don't have drums, and I'm heavy on beats where my voice could serve as an instrument and kind of step to the forefront. So I love Griselda right now. Shouts to Griselda. you know, Buffalo's just up the street, so that's even more of a connection. But like what West Side Gun got going on right now, and even Conway, the way they loop beats and just take samples, and they don't need no drum, or they don't need no bass line, and then their lyrics carry it. I'm all about that. And I'm slowly, and I know Aon might recognize it as well, and I'm sure he'll tell me when he's sick of it, but I'm slowly gearing towards that. Like, that's kind of the last maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 records we've done have been on those type of sample loop type of, you know, Conway calls them spooky type beats, and I'm all about it, you know. But then with that said, the waves change, you know, you know, we've gone on some like Afro beats type, you know, we've gone on some hard trappish type beats, and like I said, we're melodic, so we look for musicality. We want music in the beats, you know what I'm saying? Like, we want instrumentation build up, and, you know, we just, I don't know, man. Quality, I guess, sums it all up. Right. But there's so much that goes into it that, like, shout out to the producers out there, man. Like, we ain't got nothing without you guys. You know what I'm saying? Producers really, you know, and that's what brings value to the fact that you have ear. You have an ear to pick a good beat, because there's a difference out there. There are definitely some shit beats out there. You know, I would never say shit producers, but there are shit beats that get produced.
Sure.
So,
what would you say to the person that says the artist makes the beat?
That's the guy I want to work with. Yeah, that's the guy I want to work with, because like I said, I want a beat that allows me to breathe on it, and I want a beat that allows me to do what I do on it. Now, and I don't know if he can agree with me or not, but with that said, you have to be an artist that knows your voice and knows what beats work for you.
100.
You know, because I've gone through the process of trying to force myself and force a different voice on a beat that never really worked for me. But because you feel like you could do it, you push the envelope a bit. But it's just so much easier on yourself when you know yourself, and you could just hear a beat and be like, yeah, no, like the process we went through before we came in. You guys gave us the opportunity to choose a beat for a little session we'll have a little later. And it's like, we went through about 5 to 10. And the second we heard one, we're like, yeah, that one works. Meanwhile, all the other ones, we know right away. I press play, and no more than 2 seconds in, he's like, nah, next.
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? So once you learn yourself, the process becomes a little easier every time.
So what would you say to, and this seems to be a theme with different artists, what would you say if the person says, like, you need to be diverse? So you were just saying this now, you don't want to take a beat that is not something you feel like you would be good on. So what about the people that say, like, no, you should try to change it up and do something because you want to hit different markets?
Good question, man. Good question. Aon, handle that one, because he's Mr. Versatile. You know, real talk.
I feel like, there's only, in my opinion, there's only so much you can do, man. There's only so much. Like, you're not going to hear me on a rock song or nothing like that. So, like,
that's facts.
I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, what he said, you just have to know yourself. Like,
that's facts.
I know that I'm gonna shine on these type of beats, but maybe on this one I might not. Maybe that's not my thing. Like, maybe it's just, I just make music that I like, innit? So, like, I like different genres. So the genres that I do like, one time I'm gonna fuck it up, I'm gonna do my thing on it, because I just like that sound. So I'm gonna just, but if it's something I don't like, then I'm gonna just be shit on that record or whatever, because I don't like that type of music. I'm making it, but I don't even like it. So like,
and real talk, the challenge as an artist and as a rapper is to be able to not let those type of guys change what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't let a guy saying that to you all of a sudden make you want to switch up what you do. If you know that's not what you do, that's not what you do.
Exactly.
My music, we don't make our music for everybody. You know what I'm saying? We know we got a little niche market that's really gonna mess with it, and then we got the other people that just like good music that are gonna mess with it. Cause there's no question we make good music.
Right.
Whether you mess with it and it's your thing and you're bumping it in your whip or not, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But for anyone that appreciates and likes good music, we'll get plays. There's no question. But we don't make our music for everybody. We just make it the best we can. We make it as genuine and organic as we can, and the rest of it falls into play. You know?
And I think there's something to be said about being authentic to your core group of people. So another interesting thing, we were having this discussion about, you look at the Drake and Pusha T beef, right?
Yeah.
So people say Pusha T is not relevant. He's not on the level of Drake. So the beef doesn't make sense. Drake is killing him because Drake is doing all sorts of different genres of music, right?
Yeah.
But I think Pusha T stays to his own and stays true to his own.
Yeah.
Is there something to be said about that?
Yeah, 100. Like, he knows his lane. He's not gonna be on no Afrobeat or nothing.
I could never hear that.
Absolutely.
I could never hear that. You know. But yo, also in terms of the relevancy, like, yo, Pusha has cemented himself enough to be able to not have to be currently in the moment, super hot, relevant, for him to be able to put up a good battle against Drake. Like, the reality is, it's arguable that he won that battle, relevant or not. And it's because, just like Aon and you said, he didn't change, he didn't switch up. He did unapologetically Pusha T, bodied some beats. Which one was the one he bodied on his album?
Oh, I don't even remember now. I know what you're talking about.
Yo, honest to God, that one was...
Let's get that up there. We definitely get that up.
Yo, that one was, man, I can't believe I forgot. But that was the first clapback. And that was probably the best one in my opinion. But that one was just like, ugh. That's his ad-lib. So, you know, I'll say like, especially with that beef specifically, whether he was relevant or not, when it came time to press record and for when it hit the wax, it was fire.
You're right. Yeah. So as MCs, tell me what's most important to you guys. As you guys are in the lab, you're cooking up the metaphors, the similes, like what's important to you guys when you're rapping?
I'm not gonna lie. For me, it's probably flow. Flow would probably outweigh okay. I consider myself a lyricist. I really do. But so much so that I'm so confident in my ability in that nowadays I really try to focus on flow because I know lyrics will fall into place. It's not hard for me to find words, but sometimes my challenge when I hear a beat is finding the right flow for the beat. And I won't even front. It's never hard for me to find words. But you know. Flow, I let the beat dictate that. So I love beats that have range and, you know, different sounds and different pockets that I can switch up my flow and do different things with. Right. So I'll say for me it's flow. Only because I appreciate when the beat allows me to do different things with it, you know. Right.
For me, I'm gonna say bars, like words, not necessarily flow. Flow for me is on the backboard still, like. I want to say something on the record. I want to say something.
That's fact.
No, like, it doesn't really matter how I say it. I always say it matters how I say it, but
and once I have kills it. Still kills it.
Once I have words on the page, then I'm gonna say it. But I'm gonna say it sick, I know, but it's more about the words on the page. For me
so would you say you guys would work with people that don't respect lyrics? Would you do? Is it
good question?
Hey, I gotta put you guys on the spot. Would it tarnish what you guys were just saying in terms of lyrical content that you're bringing to the table? If somebody was just on the, you know, the auto-tune,
it would, man.
Nonsense. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to say, no, I'm not going to waver, like, kind of what my image is and what I do?
It depends. I'm not going to be rapping, like, I'm going to be on, like, a hip-hop beat with them. If they're on the singy shit, then I might just do that still.
Right.
Like, I rate the Lil Pumps of the world and all that, but I would never get on a record with Lil Pump. And I rate what he does. He knows himself. He knows his lane. He kills it. He does what he does. But it would totally contradict everything I stand for to go on a record like, you know, big up to Lil Pump. But you do what you do, I do what I do. And it would contradict everything about what I've curated in myself to jump on a Lil Pump record or that style. Because I'm literally dumbing myself down. Like, I would literally be full of resentment, you know what I'm saying? And like, I would just be like, ugh. But then when you want, let's say on a record like that, this is where you understand music. You would understand that, yo, my lyrical flow, love and ass would not be able to go on a record like that if I want to just stick to my bars. Like, imagine a Little Pump verse followed up by a Riffic verse.
It's true.
It just wouldn't mesh.
You're right. It wouldn't flow.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why, going back to what you asked before, when he says he's about the bars and I'm about the flow, that's how we complement each other. You know what I'm saying? In regards to the idea that we appreciate bars and flow, but the fact that I highlight flow and he highlights bars, it just, you know, it makes it fun.
Sure. Talk to the competitive nature in the rap game. How competitive do you need to be? Wow. When you get on a beat, like, how competitive do you want to say, like, you know what, my verse has to be X amount? And have you guys ever been in the booth together where you're like, yo, Aon slapped that, I need to go back and
Buddy, that's why I say I would say restructure your question, because it's not about the competitive nature. I swear to you, it's just the competitive nature in 1, 3, 4. That's really what we focus on. Because if we could trump each other and keep going higher and higher and higher, we know for a fact everyone else is in the dust. Like, we know that. If we could just make each other better, we know already we're on the levels of the guys that we appreciate in the game. Like we literally look at them as peers, bro. Like when we're in the studio, we're not like looking up to these guys. Like we're ready to like be on bills with them and do shows with them and stuff like that. That's how we feel.
Right. Also, you know I want to say, like, in terms of competition, like, you should always be yourself, really. Not to sound cliche or anything, but me personally, like, if I don't like my own verse, even if someone else is saying it's hard, and if I don't like it, and I know he's the same, if we personally don't like it, we're just gonna scrap it.
Right.
Even if someone will tell you, "Yo, that's the hardest verse I've ever heard in my life," I'm not gonna change my mind on like if I like it. Like
we've done that with each other.
It's all about what you feel like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. And then, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So if you fuck with it, and if you're personally fucking with it, then that's your competition yourself. You know?
Absolutely. Do you guys think auto-tune is played out now?
Nah.
Or you think it's something you should still incorporate?
I'll tell you what, I'm just starting to get the hang of it and really put it in. We went a long time without even messing with it.
Right.
Like, you know, but when you understand how it can help and understand what it does in terms of, you know, making your voice the ideal that it should be, and just having that maximum control over, and he can speak to this more than me because he's the one that's engineering this stuff, you know, but like the idea that you can control your voice however you want or however you need to accommodate whatever needs to be accommodated. Like auto-tune, I think the problem in the game is people misuse it.
Yeah.
So there's a big misunderstanding and misconception of what it is. Like, you know, big up Coolin, one of our dudes, Coolin, he's also a fellow artist of ours. I mean, he shows you how he can manipulate each friggin' word and, you know, and correct and auto pitch your voice and correct, what is it? Auto correct your pitch and all these pitch correction and all these type of things using the auto-tune plugins. It's like, okay, it's not just on no bullshit. Like, you know, like you can use this to make yourself sound the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Right. So in regards to, I was going to say, in regards to like talking to that quickly, budget, if you're going to give advice, like how much money do you need to invest into doing what you guys do?
How much money is it?
And
not necessarily a nominal number. Just talk to like what you need to do.
Yo, first of all, always invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Be the first person willing to invest the most.
You don't, but at the same time, you don't need like 10,000, 20,000. You just need, in terms of production, like if you want to rap, all you need is a mic and a little box to connect to your computer to connect to the mic. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a lot. And that, our equipment that we use right now, it's not. You get me? It's not industry. It's not like you're walking into a massive, crazy studio. It's what works for us, innit? And yeah, you don't need a lot. If you have the talent, man, and if you just put hours in, then you don't need all this money. But the thing you do need money for is promotion. That's where you do need a bit of bread still. But when it comes
videos,
to videos, all this other stuff. Like if you don't need, people think you need a big studio to make a sick song, but like you just need to know how to mix and master, which takes time. But anyone can learn. If I can learn how to do it, then like anyone can learn how to do it.
Yeah, I feel you, and that's good. If you guys were to give some advice to younger rappers, what kind of things, obviously looking at where you guys are now versus probably where you would have done differently then, what advice do you give to people now?
These are good questions, man. Damn.
We're still early in the game. We're still early.
But just think about back in the day.
Yeah.
To when you were first starting out, and the advice you give to yourself. That's advice you could give to somebody else. Like, what would you say? You know, would you have started earlier? Would you have told them like, hey, like, get the money and get the equipment earlier? Like, you know what I mean?
Yo, one thing I would say is stay true to yourself, and that will evolve as you grow in music, and who you are and the vision you have of yourself will change as you grow. But I think the most advice I could give an artist right now on the come up is, yo, at the end of the day, have a voice. Know your voice. Have a voice, and like refine it. You know, nurture it. Don't be an artist that's always switching up your voice and, you know what I mean, you're changing your name every 5 years and all this type of stuff. Just stay true to who you are. Consistent. Yeah. Find your voice, and build relationships. Build a team. One of my biggest follies is not having a team when I should have.
Right.
You know, on the come up trail. So we're getting that together now. So build a team, build relationships, have a video guy, have all these things in house. You know what I'm saying? And then you won't have to worry much about any. And then you'll all grow together. You know, once you blow, you'll have a team with you. You won't have to worry about nothing. So
perfect. So, you know, again, I want to thank you guys for being here today. You know, again, there's going to be more to come as the months go by. We're going to re-interview. We want to keep seeing the progression, obviously. So at the end of the day, if there's anything you guys want to plug in, do so right now. Instagram, social media, Spotify, albums, everything.
yeah.
Follow me on Instagram, Aon Official _. Yeah, that's about it, man. I ain't really got no social media like that. You can follow Riffic as well.
Yeah, I got Instagram, Riffic the Ghoul. It's Riffic _ DA_Ghoul, GUL. Obviously Spotify, same thing, Riffic the Ghoul. No underscores, just one word. You want to speak on it?
Yeah, Spotify. My name is spelled A_0_N. So that's how you spell it, whatever. Just go check it out.
Yeah, you gotta spell it like that to find it. So don't do yourself an injustice and spell it wrong and click on the next dude. Don't do that.
Exactly.
You're gonna be hurting yourself. So A_0_N.
You got Dear Summer on.
Yep, Dear Summer's on both Spotify's. That's this Dear Summer playlist. We dropped that January 28th. That's a dope. You know, like we said, it's a playlist. It's a project, but we called it a playlist. We got you know, speaking of Studio 134, we got the 134 project coming up next. And we got another project lined up for after that. We got a few videos on the back burner. We got a few videos up on YouTube right now. If you just type in Riffic X Aon or Aon X Riffic. You know, we got a lot coming, man, and we're super excited. COVID can't stop the hustle, you know what I'm saying? That's actually kind of what started the hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The idea that we were locked down and he's now coming to my crib for haircuts and you know, it was just a thing where like everything in time, man. Everything has its own time.
Yeah.
Nothing's by accident. So
and just to quickly talk to it just before we close out, what can we expect from the project? Just talk to that really quick.
The upcoming
project. The Dear Summer.
The Dear Summer joint. Okay, so it's a collection of songs we made in the summertime.
Summertime,
You know what I'm saying? You can listen to that now and it's cold. You know what I'm saying? Snow, Canadian weather. And you get me? You feel a little bit of warmth.
yeah. You know, that's the one, I think that's a record where gal will love it. Real dudes will love it. You know, there's a couple records on there for the hood niggas, you know, and I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, we just make good music. I don't see why anybody won't like it, per se, but you know, to each their own. We got a lot of melodic stuff on there. We got bars on there. Obviously, you know, the metaphors, the punchlines. You know, it's just, we try to put a bit of everything in there and keep it genuine.
And also, March 11th, you can hear a new single from me coming out. It's called Your Song. March 11th, dropping on everything. Spotify, Apple Music, everything. So just go check that out as well.
And also, I got a next single coming out. Don't know the date yet, but just look for that too. You know, we're gonna keep everybody in the loop. You're gonna see us floating around, man. Just keep watching.
Absolutely. And also, again, you check out the Let's Rap, you check out Nokturnal TV in general. We're gonna have their music playing on a lot of different shows. So
Shouts
we're
to
gonna plug them in.
Shouts to the chef.
That's what we're trying to do. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we want to thank them for being here. Keep tuning in. We'll keep track of the story, see what's happening. All the albums will be posted. Keep looking, keep watching. Stay tuned.
Lately, I just feel like rapping just a bit, don't I? Nowadays, rappers cap with everything, no lie. Mama said be the same and you gon' capitalize. Never change, play the game and look them back in their eye. If I think you looking strange, I'ma blacken that eye. Used to care about my things more way back when I tried. Now it's more about respect with every outfit I buy. I make sure my garbs reflect the fact I know that I'm fly. You'll never know when I'm high, but you gon' notice I'm nice. I'm a beast like the rookie version, Tony McDice. I see you type it in your phone to your homie, he nice. I think I found a second home in this room with the mic. Why are your homies so tight? That woman wants me to die. It only took me one night. It's just like riding a bike, how she didn't do it. And just to have the music, yeah. Haven't had a hood in rainy days. I face the music like I never had a hood. Chasing fame and good. One of the reasons that I do it, cause I'm a man of my word, I said I would. I'm doing fine.
Look, I'm in the studio till I'm sick of my voice. Still I stick with it, like I ain't really got a choice. It's like I found myself in money, still I'm yet to find some joy. Was I happier when I barely had a coin? Arthritis when I write this, I got pain in these joints. That shorty lover boy, it's like I'm out on injury. The way she pulled my groin, aye, what you done? Let me think. They hear my song and let it spin. I got them all engaged like a wedding ring. Might call my next album Dirty Dish, why? I'm sure it's getting rinsed. How's the king coming through with all these prints? How's the ting coming through with all this skin? How you claiming that's a queen? And you don't know where she's been. And you don't know what she's done. You don't know about them things. It's young, hey, I'm a king. And I end it like